want Josh back. By this time tomorrow.
The other two?
Any liabilities are to be eliminated. Debbie, her boyfriend, anyone who has laid eyes on that boy.
That, a very dramatic scene from the all-new USA Network conspiracy thriller Dig. It is a special 10-part series. And today we're lucky enough to have one of the stars of the show from that clip that we just saw right there in the studio with us, David Costabile. Thanks for stopping by today.
Thanks for having me.
Congratulations on the new show.
Thank you.
I mean, as if you haven't been busy enough, you've got now this to add to this resume.
It was quite a sojourn that we went through to make this television.
Tell me a little bit about your Tad Billingham. Tell me about this, because being a cult leader, I imagine, is not is not a character that often comes.
That you usually get to play.
You're right.
You're right. You're actually right.
Well, I did have that one last week, but
well, I played that cult leader in Kansas, and then the one in Minnesota. So I run a cult, and we're all in New Mexico. And part of what's revealed in the show is that they are one aspect of this larger conspiracy to try to bring about the apocalypse.
So when you come across and you see a script like this, I mean, because that seems, when you mention it in those terms, not so that you didn't put a very accurate description on those, but did it seem a little far-fetched, though? Because obviously you want to be believable to your audience.
I mean, when you start doing the research and when you start looking into what's happening in our country, because so much of the story, while it is fictionalized, is based in reality. There are very many deeper truths and lots of facts about what is happening in our country.
Is there? So I'll just go. Is there anything that you based this off of, that you've been basing your character off of?
Yeah, I mean, the writers and I had long discussions about who they had in mind, but it is not one person or one thing or one group.
Okay.
But it is a larger sort of feeling, and there are many people who believe and practice this particular kind of evangelical Christianity. Which is in the hope that the apocalypse will come now. Now,
right,
today, tomorrow, the sooner the better.
Doomsday preppers, I mean, obviously are a large part of it.
Sure.
How much research did you do this in trying to really be able to convey this across?
There's a lot out there.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of reading and a lot of video materials. There's some incredible documentaries about how people live.
What was most surprising?
I mean, that it's happening, and that I think the biggest surprise is the connection between evangelical Christians in America and the ultra-right Jews in Israel, and the amount of monetary support that goes to them every year, hundreds of millions of dollars, that they're trying to help people create settlements in the occupied territories.
Speaking of, this was not shot on set. This was actually shot in Jerusalem, right?
We shot the pilot in Jerusalem,
okay.
and then the war came, and then we sort of decamped to different parts of the world. So we went to Croatia, and then we shot in New Mexico and Canada, and so we went all over the world.
That's got to be amazing, and it adds a certain amount of I don't say believability, but it just adds that realness to each scene. I would imagine
you definitely feel the depth of the place when you're standing there, and when you look at, when you're walking up just down the streets in Jerusalem, and then you see there's an excavation right there, and they'll say, well, that's the Roman road. So the Roman road, which is 12 feet below where you're standing, and you're just looking at it in awe.
It's just staring at it, yeah. Often it gets lost here in the United States, so we don't have that kind of...
I mean, it was easier for me then, because the material that I was shooting was primarily in New Mexico. So we were substituting the New Mexican desert or the Dead Sea desert for the New Mexican desert, which was actually quite a trick.
Okay, all right.
It's much hotter in the Dead Sea than it is in New Mexico.
Is it really?
Much hotter.
Well,
you can literally feel your eyeballs drying out.
In New Mexico?
No, in the Dead Sea.
Oh, in the Dead Sea.
It was 115 by 9 a.m. one day when we shot there.
That's ridiculous.
That's hot.
That's really hot. And that's not, and I don't care what people say, whether it's dry heat or not. That's just hot, right? I mean, because people that live in those areas, and they say, oh, well, it's dry heat. No, 115
is a dry, incredible heat.
Uncomfortable, regardless, any way you put it. So whether it's going to be Tad, whether it's going to be The Wire, whether it's going to be Breaking Bad, what is it about some of these characters that just seems so out of the box that appeals to you?
I'm sure you've heard this cliched trope before, but it's the writing, that you're attracted to writing. You're attracted to people who are writing characters that have or at cross purposes with themselves, with the world. They want certain things, but it isn't just. I've played many villains, but I've also played many non-villains. You want something that isn't right on the nose, that isn't so predictable that you would look at it and be able to put it on the shelf like, oh yeah, I know that's a bad guy. in this one, you're like, who is this guy? What's he doing? He's doing some pretty nefarious things, but he is also deeply dedicated to his religious belief. He has a deep love for trying to achieve this particular goal, and you want it to. And he's convinced lots of people to join this cult, which is at cross purposes with living, unless that the life that you want to achieve is the life in heaven, in the afterlife, and it's a higher bar to aspire to, for me.
Very, very complex, very complex. And in the meantime, though, in your downtime, obviously you have to be watching Better Call Saul, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Who doesn't? I mean, it's
Which
fantastic.
everyone is, right?
Yeah, it's a fantastic show.
What have been your thoughts on that? I mean,
To me, it's like my favorite part of it is it's sort of like we can all come down now after having gone through Breaking Bad. You can watch Better Call Saul.
In the
and
literal,
you're like,
right?
Yeah, you're just like, all right, it's not so terrible. Everything isn't going so awfully. But you'll get a little taste here and there of like, oh no,
right.
But then it'll just ease off, and there's a great ease. It's sort of like, snuggling into a comfortable couch or something. You just feel we're back in New Mexico.
Okay, well, so before you get too comfy in New Mexico, then what's next? What's ahead for you?
I'm going to be doing a television series called Billions, which is on Showtime, and it'll shoot here with Paul Giamatti and Damian Lewis, and I play Damian Lewis's inscrutable right-hand man. So I get to wear really lovely suits.
Very well. We'll be looking forward to that. In the meantime, we'll check you out and dig on USA Network. Dave Constable, thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.